Tommy Boyd on BBC Southern Counties Radio.
Well, a very good evening to you. This is your Tommy Boyd. He's thought he was... Alison's here as well. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Oh, there's a bit of a kerfuffle there, I think the word is.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realise that you didn't know.
And I didn't come in on Thursday, so I didn't see the memo, so...
Yeah.
So you turned up at about, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I was here. It was a bit awkward because I said hello. I didn't expect there'd be somebody in the studio, so I thought it was a technician. So I said, everything all right? And he said, yeah, no, bless him. So, there we are.
What's he like?
Bob?
Yeah.
It's alright, a bit sort of knitwear and, hush puppies. You know. I think he's, based in Gloucester.
Right.
And we didn't get much of a chance to chat.
Is it going to be like that every week now then, did he say, or is it just...
I don't know. Have you heard anything?
Well, I just heard they were trying him out, but I don't know if they're trying him out every week, or if it was just a one-off today.
Yeah, and I mean the stuff about the sparrows, yeah, we care about sparrows.
Did you hear the stuff he was saying about Baghdad?
Yes. I decided we wouldn't go there.
No.
Did you?
I think, yeah.
Well, thanks for raising it.
Well, I
thought it was a bit near the knuckle. I mean, he didn't say that we should, obviously he didn't say that we should drop a nuclear bomb.
No, and he said...
Asia.
No, and he said
But
that...
he did kind of say...
But he said that it would have to be well thought out.
If I said...
There'd be uproar.
Well, there's the usual suspects who would use it, as a reason to try and get me fired.
Well, yeah, I mean, we get into trouble if we talk about men and fish and boats.
Well, apparently, were you telling me that somebody, can we say this, somebody had a concern about you saying something on air last week, but she just didn't say?
No, I just didn't say.
You didn't go near it?
No, somebody made a complaint.
Yes.
About me talking about female menstruation, and I didn't.
And we didn't come anywhere near the conversation.
So I don't know what they're listening to.
Oh well, from now until 1 o'clock in the morning. It was 9 in the evening until 1 o'clock, but now, thanks to the welcome arrival of... Shut up. He's probably listening in the car. The welcome arrival of Bob Staunton. We now begin at 10, through until 1. Bob plays music and has some exciting quizzes. And
some unusual thoughts.
Yes.
On world politics.
Yes. Hello to Tommy Boy from Italy. We're sitting here laughing and adoring listening tonight on the World Wide Web. Have you tried olive juice? This is to do with talking about drinking diluted urine last week. Mally and Grula have emailed, have you tried olive juice? If you can't stomach that, don't drink urine. Always try it with some sort of juice. We recommend cranberry and urine.
Oh dear. Cranberry is very good for you though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, all of that sort of urinary tract business.
Yeah. Cranberry
is the way to go.
I feel vaguely, besmirched.
I thought you did a bit.
Yeah, well, a little bit.
But I don't think
it's rude. Well, I think he's rude. It's rude. I think what he did was rude, and I think what he said on air was a bit rude, and I don't like rude people, as you know, because I'm very polite. And there's been a couple of texts...
Yes.
...which have upset you.
Yeah, I'm not happy. Perhaps you'd like to read it from your screen, the one in question.
Okay, it just says, are you both in favour of abortion? Are you abortionists?
Now, let's get this straight.
Go on.
This isn't about whether I am pro or anti-abortion. All that happened was I mentioned that Channel 4 televised an abortion.
Yep.
I didn't give an opinion.
Yep.
I didn't say what my views were concerning it. I just mentioned the word.
Dare I say fish and boat?
Oh, God. Not the mood I'm in tonight. That person's wound me up, and now you're going to tell me someone's going to wind me up even more with a fish and a boat.
I think you'll like this.
Okay.
Remember the lady who said last week that she wanted the address from us for the Broadcasting Complaints Committee?
Oh, which one? Which lady was that?
Because she said that I had advocated drinking urine, and there were youngsters listening.
Yeah.
Which, of course, I hadn't, but anyway. Well, I said it takes about 6 weeks to come round.
Yeah.
Well, who has been the most persistent and vociferous campaigner against this type of radio on BBC Southern Counties Radio? And I'll give you a clue, it's Mary.
Mary. Mary and her boat.
Mary's emailed, and she said, I would just like to say that what Bob Staunton had to say about nuclear missiles was very insensitive. Women and children would be killed. Nuclear weapons are responsible for more deaths today than murders. Now don't, because she's trying. So just let that one go.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but thank God Tommy Boyd is back.
I never thought I'd ever hear her say it either. Good on you, Mary.
Instead of that George Bush sounder-like pillock. People like him should not be allowed near a wireless. The BBC should be disgusted. So she's got a... Now she's on my side, and she wants Bob Staunton sacked now.
Bob's not listening. It was his first night.
Well, he did say that he thought that he wondered whether...
yeah, he did sort of, yeah. It's an outrageous comment.
Yes, we have had an hour chopped off. To the sanctimonious, unctuous, oily, oleaginous Bob Staunton. There we are.
I'm really glad that you weren't going to get into a slanging match with a fellow broadcaster.
I didn't like him when he potters. He's a man who potters.
Tell me.
He potters in his knitwear and his hush puppies, and you can tell that he smokes a pipe, and he potters everywhere. And he's got an old Rover, which has probably got those leather seats which are really shiny and slightly cracked, and he's got one of those sort of tortoiseshell dashboards, and he's got one of those really thin steering wheels, and he probably potters along the A something or other, tiresome tune like Edelweiss or something like that.
Come on now.
And he mutters about sparrows, and he mutters about binliners, and then he mutters that has our government thought about deploying nuclear weapons in Iraq to back the troops up? It's a ludicrous thing to say, and it makes me really angry. And I think it's really cross that there are people like that who are allowed the airways, because it's that kind of insidious, creeping, sort of philosophical fascism is what I'd call it. I'm not calling him a Nazi, I'm saying it's philosophical fascism. To have that sort of creeping, unkindness bubbling away, and you kind of get away with it because you're nice to animals, and you're a human being like the rest of us, and binliners annoy you. Binliners probably would have annoyed most of the Nazi party, and they probably like sparrows.
Tommy, I think we need to play a song now.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hi Tommy, you said, this is Hayley. Hi Tommy, you said last week that you have tasted your own urine. Yes. Why not? Just try it. Diluted. Give it a sip. See what it does. Didn't make me feel better. Definitely didn't make me feel worse. That's all. Why not? Why not try it? If you know there are people who do this sort of thing on a regular basis and claim that it has beneficial side effects, why shouldn't you? However, Hayley then says, would you drink someone else's? I don't think I would, because that's kind of a, do or dare thing, isn't it? And what about live on air? No, I don't think so. But Hayley, thank you for your text, for your email there, and thanks to everybody who is texting the show. Lynn in Horndean says, I want Tommy Boyd on from 9 p.m, please. Is there a petition going? I am seriously thinking about making a phone call on Monday to the powers that be and say, look, what's all this about? Now I understand our next caller is Bob. Is that right? Hello, Bob?
Hello there.
How are you?
How are you?
How are you? I'm very well.
I'm great, thanks.
You're great.
The reason I called, I hope you don't mind, driving home with the radio on, thought I heard yourself having a bit of a go at yours truly.
No, I don't think so.
Well, it sounded a bit like it to me.
Which bit?
Beg your pardon?
Which bit it sounded like me having a go at yours truly?
Well, yours truly is yourself, and obviously you weren't having a go at yourself. The phrase is used by speakers as a polite alternative to me or myself.
Well, what's impolite about me?
Well, pretty much everything from what my listeners tell me.
Now, look, Bob, if you mean me, say me. I can't be doing these little sort of artificial linguistic affectations. Yours truly is pompous and it's outdated. It's one of those annoying little phrases that stand out as meaning, hey, look at me, I'm a bit of a character. And yes, I was tempted to correct on air one piece of absolute nonsense that you came out with.
Well, what is that then?
Well, do you not know? I mean, can you not guess?
Tell me.
Well, what do you think? Your bit about the poor old sparrows?
Sparrows are under threat.
I don't care.
Charming.
The bit about binliners being a nightmare.
They are the bane of my life.
Well, there you go again. What in God's name is a bane?
It's something you find a nightmare. Didn't you get any kind of education at all in that Borstal?
Bob, I'm going to have to get back to you, mate. I'm flummoxed and What's the matter with the man?
Oh, dear.
Are you... I mean... Am I in trouble?
No, but, I just think that perhaps, the conversations that you and Bob need to have isn't one to be had on air.
The basic pattern of things last week was that we had about 45 minutes of people who basically were berating me for no known reason, because they don't know me, and they couldn't actually put their finger on anything that I'd said or done that was in any way off beam. Okay, but they wanted me fired. And by the way, keep the complaint letters coming in. Ah, excellent. We've got Hedge calling in from Hove, who wants to have a complaint. Is that right, Hedge?
That is right, yes.
Hello, darling.
I want some music on at night. I don't want you burbling away.
What would you like?
I like David Allen on. I don't like your...
What does he sing?
I don't like your programme.
Well, what does he sing?
He plays a lot of lovely music.
Well, like what?
It doesn't matter what. What do you keep talking about these wretched blinking phone calls for? It's an absolute load of rubbish.
Why? What's wrong with listening to people? What's wrong with people?
I think you run out of breath, don't you?
No, I don't. I'll tell you what. Right, you tell me a song that you like, and we'll see what a load of rubbish it is. Go on, you tell me a song you like. Off you go.
I've already done that.
No, you haven't. You haven't mentioned one song.
Not to you, I haven't.
Well, you tell me a song.
No, I wouldn't.
No, go on, you tell me a song. You tell me a song that's got any worth, got any merit, got any weight, got any warmth. Go, now. One song, any song you like. You tell me. Tell me a song, Hedge. I dare you. I bet you can't. I bet you can't think of one song that's got any wisdom. I bet you can't think of one song that's got any real humanity. It's all fake. It's all cheating. It's all thought out in advance. It means nothing. There isn't a song that means anything compared to one real human being spilling their heart, spilling their guts, spilling their beans, lies, betraying who they really are, offering up the wisdom that they themselves have gleaned in life. But just because they aren't Simon and Garfunkel, just because they haven't got a fat recording contract, they can't express themselves. Well, they can on this show. So if you want Simon and Garfunkel, and by the way, I had to nominate Simon and Garfunkel because you, Hedge, couldn't think of a single song that had any merit when I asked you to, okay? It's me that mentioned Simon and Garfunkel, and what a load of old rubbish they are.
Well, I've just registered my complaint, and that's that.
Name me a song that's got any merit.
I only like the classics.
Well, name me one then, person. Name me one.
Richard Torber.
Well, hum it.
Eh?
Hum it.
Richard Torber is one of them.
Hum it.
I'm not going to hum it.
Well, I don't know what it is. It's so obscure. Name me a pop song. Something that you might hear on this radio station.
I hate pops.
Well, that's all that you get. That's what this radio station plays. Pop songs. Good ones, mind you. So maybe you're confusing us with another radio station.
But you needn't get berserk over it.
Why not? I'm passionate. What's wrong with that?
I think we'd better close it. I just don't like your programme.
That's because you haven't got any humanity.
Well, you've run out of breath, I
You're
think.
more interested in something antiseptic, something carefully prepared, honed, tailored, in order to smooth you into some kind of completely artificial coma. That's music. This is reality. These are real people.
Are they really?
Yes. Real people, talking about their lives, talking about their loves, talking about what turns them on, talking about, in your case, what makes you angry. And you are more interesting than Simon and Garfunkel.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's a pain in my backside.
But you haven't got an argument. That's my point.
I'm just saying.
You haven't got an argument. All you know is that you think you don't like something. But you don't even know that you don't.
I don't like your programme.
And you don't know what you don't like about it.
Oh,
you can't articulate it.
You must have run out of breath.
That isn't an argument. That's a feeble insult. And don't get me started on insults, because, Hedge, I'm good. Oh, I'm good. And I'm not going to insult you.
You must be.
Well, you see, you come on, you've got no argument. You've got no heart or humanity. All you've got is a feeble insult. I'd rather you came on and were decently insulting.
Well, I don't have to listen to your programme, so that's the answer.
Well, of course it is. Switch it off.
I will.
Good. I'm glad. I don't want you listening.
Good.
Do not listen.
Right.
Good. Well, let me hear you turn the radio off then. Better still, turn it on to another radio station and phone me back in half an hour if you found anything remotely as interesting as me.
Well, don't worry, because I'm retiring now.
What do you mean you're going to bed?
Yes.
Well, who cares? Who cares? Who do you honestly suppose that anybody cares that you're going to bed? Have you rung me up to have a whinge and then tell us that it's your bedtime?
I'm only just one of many.
No, you're not.
I'm not?
No, you're not.
Well, how did you find that out?
I reckon you're one of about 27 people who like having a good old moan on the phone to the radio station that they think they run. That's what I think.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
All right?
Yeah.
Because you're not a first-time caller, are you?
Beg pardon?
I said you're not a first-time caller.
No, but I used to listen to your programmes a lot.
Bye, Hedge. Sweet dreams.
Right.
08459570057. I'm enjoying the company of Sally from Crawley. Good evening, Sally.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi. I'm just really trying to say I've just come back from a business trip of about 6 months. No, actually it was 6.5 months, actually. And I haven't really been listening to any sort of radios apart from Radio 4. I've just come back to Southern Counties, actually, and to be honest, I've just heard tonight, and it's really put me off listening to Southern Counties, I'm afraid. I've never known somebody like yourself. I can't believe how just self-righteous you are, and you're so, I mean, thinking that you can know people over the phone, it's just absolutely incredible.
Well, somebody has to.
Yeah, I know, but they're called psychologists.
Well, I am a psychologist.
Have you got a degree?
Yes, I have.
Oh, right, well done. So have I.
Not at all.
And it's just absolutely...
Where did you get yours?
Huh?
Where did you get yours?
Sussex University.
When were you there?
Oh, God, about... Oh, 30 now, it was about 85.
Oh, I just left.
Oh,
shame.
okay.
You might have got on. What sort of psychology do you...
Well, that's not my job now.
No?
That's not what I do now.
No,
I'm
it
not
is
going to
mine,
go into my
you
job.
see.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a difference between sort of psychology and putting people down. You know what I mean? And to be honest...
Sorry, I've missed the first few words of the sentence.
So what? I beg your pardon, sorry.
So there's something psychology to putting people down.
There's a difference between actual psychology and putting people down.
Well, it depends what sort of, it depends what sort of...
I mean, this kind of...
Hang on a second, go back and just finish. I said it depends on what sort of technique you're using and why.
Yes, but why be aggressive to somebody who's just phoning up?
I'm not aggressive to people, they're aggressive to me.
I mean, anyway, let me finish anyhow. The only image that you're giving across is a very self-righteous, banal presenter that's just very, very boring. And I mean...
No, not boring.
It's
definitely not boring.
There's very, very few people that make me sort of real... I mean, it's probably one over for you, actually, in that case, to actually make me shake with anger, but I'm actually indignant on behalf of all these people.
Well, they shouldn't ring up and be rude to me.
They're not actually being rude to me.
They are rude to me.
I can't actually believe how self-opinionated you are.
Well, everybody's self-opinionated, you fool.
Excuse me?
Everybody's self-opinionated. You are. Hark at you. You're saying that somebody else is self-opinionated when what you've done is pitch up on this radio station and just...
believe me, this is the last time I'm listening to it. I'm going to go back to Radio 4.
No, excuse me, no, listen to you, because, you are, because you can't actually listen. You don't have any listening skills. You don't have any listening abilities. The point that I want to make, and I'm going to make, is that you're utterly hypocritical in slagging off somebody for being self-opinionated when all you've done is dish out a bunch of opinions.
Obviously you didn't fail.
Very poor.
Failed your degree.
Very weak.
Radio 4 now.
Very goodbye. No, not yet. See, she could have been quite good fun. I've been on a business trip for 6 months. Well, 6.5, actually. Oh, Sally. Right.
That was Brian from Sutton. Just phone and say hello.
Hello.
He asked for a request of the song, but we're not doing a request at the moment.
No, definitely not.
But later on.
What did he want? Did he say? Just anything? I can never understand that. Could you play anything for me, for my wife? What did he want?
He wanted a song for the people in his area who have survived the tsunami.
How does that all work then, for anything? What's the end result of that? I'm not with you, Brian.
That's what he asked
And why not? Why just people in your area?
Well, I don't think he just meant his area, but that's what he said, but I'm sure he means people on a wider scale.
People from the Southern Counties region who have survived the tsunami.
I'm sure he just means people everywhere who have survived and who haven't survived.
Well, we've got Unbreak My Heart by Tony Braxton first. So we'll dedicate that to whoever it is that Brian wants a record dedicated for. Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Good evening, BBC Southern Counties Radio. You're on the air. Hello.
Oh, hello, Tommy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Who's this?
And to Alison.
Happy
Mary.
New Year. Thank you, Mary. Is that Mary from Winchester?
No, but I'm not from East Grinstead either. Now, in view of the dire effects of the Asian tsunami, I believe the demolition of all rainforests should cease immediately. Recently, I saw a TV program where rainforests were being cut down in an eastern country, which, if I recall correctly, was Indonesia. I might be wrong.
I don't know anything about... I don't know any link between the earthquake, which was responsible for the tsunami, and the deforestation of rainforests in Indonesia. What's the connection?
I asked a friend who studies geology, and he said that cutting down the rainforest causes soil erosion, which leads to millions of tons of extra sediment being deposited in the sea. That may build up pressure, which might exacerbate earthquakes. In other words, it might bring them forward.
I can't see this. I can't see this.
Yes, but you're not a geologist, are you?
No, but I'm not an idiot either, and I can't see how cutting down trees causes earthquakes. The earthquake was caused...
I know what it was caused by. It's been on the television enough. Well, about fault lines and things like that, and volcanic eruptions under the sea. We've heard all that, but I have another idea about it, and I'm quite sure many other people do, but they probably...
Look, I haven't done the research. Well, you can't bump into somebody who says he's a geologist. You can't.
I'm not...
Hang on, wait a minute.
Yep.
You can't go round frightening the horses about the rainforests on the basis of what you've got. Because you must remember, this is such an important point. You know, it's like what I call the John Craven's news round syndrome, whereby we constantly tell the children that the planet Earth is in dire straits. It's not. It's fine.
You think so?
I know it for a fact, mate. It's better than it's ever been.
You're living in cloud cuckoo land, mate.
You're living in you are living under a black cloud, mate.
Yes.
Yes.
Because there is a black cloud, and if you're not careful, it's going to come to England and wipe off the whole of the south coast, which is forecast by...
Hark at you. All this doom and gloom.
Yep.
And it's all rubbish.
We've got to be realistic and look at the causes. We know that the causes are natural, but we are exacerbating them.
Do you know what? Coming on the radio, you should be ashamed of yourself. Coming on the radio saying that people cutting down trees in Indonesia has, as a consequence, the worst disaster in human history.
We're not saying it's as a consequence. We're saying it may have led towards this disaster.
Well, that, if I may say so, is heinous.
Right.
Heinous.
Well, you can think that if you like.
No, I'm not telling you that that's what I think. I'm telling you that's what it is. It is heinous. To speculate... Will you listen? And stop inhaling.
What do you think is
you're not listening.
Change?
You are not listening. Listen.
Are you?
Listen properly. Thank you. I'm asking you not to inhale and start a sentence during the second word of any sentence that I try to communicate with you. Okay? Have you got that?
I think so.
Is that a deal?
Yeah.
Can you do that? Because I can do that.
Yeah, go on then.
It's not difficult.
No, I'm sure it's not. Go on. And what are you going to say?
I'm going to say this. Planet Earth has just experienced the worst natural disaster in its history. We just
Correct.
Correct. Yes. We just need to stay there.
Yeah.
We can go looking for causes if that's what people want to do. But this is an act of God. It's a natural occurrence.
And we
I haven't finished.
Okay.
You're desperate to get in, aren't you? Because you're not really...
Because you think
you're not really taking it on board, are you? No, you're not. I'm beginning to wonder about your listening skills. Whether you actually listened to this person. What were the qualifications of this person who said they were a geologist?
Well, actually, he's retired. I didn't say he was a geologist. I said he is studying geology. But
What does that mean?
He's a retired osteopath and naturopath.
Oh, for God's sake, you're bringing warnings to the world about natural disasters and their possible causes from a retired osteopath?
He studies geology.
He's a retired osteopath.
So what?
Well, why didn't you say he was a retired osteopath? Who the hell listens to...
Why should I?
Because I'll tell you what you do then, mate, all right? Next time your back's got a spasm, go see a geologist.
Oh, right. I might do. I might find a geologist who's also a naturopath.
Gotta go. There's something about some people that means that as soon as something like this happens, rather than... Are you still there?
Yeah.
How much have you sent then? If I may ask, how much have you sent so far to the disaster appeal?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, fine, don't. That would be more to the point. Don't you think that would be more to the point?
No, because I think it's action on the ground that's needed. We need people to go out there in helicopters or whatever to deal with all the situations that are still being undealt with. And the money is all being thrown at it. Yes, that's very good.
Thrown at it?
What
do you mean, thrown at it?
The money is all coming in.
What do you mean?
But when are they going to get the action on the ground?
Well, you don't know what that means.
Of course I do.
What does it mean?
Well, I've seen it on the television.
Your life is lived through the television and retired osteopaths. Do you really think...
And people like Tommy Boyd.
Now go on, dear. Go on, dear.
Tommy.
Put the Dracula teeth in and give it a good old shake. Go on, dear. You want to, really, don't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, all I will say is that if 2005 sees itself out and I don't hear anything more ridiculous than the idea that a retired osteopath believes that cutting down the rainforest is responsible for the worst natural disaster in human history, if I don't hear anything more ridiculous than that, I will not be at all surprised.
He didn't actually say that. He just gave me some information which I asked for.
Which was what?
Which was, is any effect in cutting down the rainforest upon the earthquakes and all the disasters which have been taking place over the past years.
Well, there are millions of them. Name me another one.
There have been quite enough of them.
I'll just take the one of them.
We're going to... don't worry about that. We're going to...
I do worry about you. I do worry about people like you who think
the earth.
Every 20 minutes there's a natural disaster and somebody's responsible for it. You can't name me one other natural disaster, and yet you said that they've been coming thick and fast down the last years. Name me one more.
You should know them.
I do, but you don't.
Place in America, in the United States, California, everywhere.
This is cloud cuckoo stuff.
Yes, you're in cloud cuckoo land, mate.
I know what's what. I know which way's up and which way's down.
The earth and the Amazon rainforest and all the other rainforests.
Have you ever been to the Amazon rainforest?
Not myself.
Well, I have.
Members of my family have.
Well, I have. What did they tell you about it?
They didn't tell me anything. I just got my information from other sources.
From retired osteopaths on the television.
The information is in the public domain.
What does that
mean?
Been
on television enough times.
Where is this public domain? You make it sound like something from the...
I've seen plenty of documentaries.
Alan Fournier, the public domain.
I've seen plenty of documentaries.
Do you know how public...
about what's going on in the Amazon rainforest?
You just watched too many editions of John Craven's Newsround. Let me tell you what the public domain is. The public domain is such that only today were we allowed to know...
Yes, I know.
...that a patient with a history of mental illness tried to kidnap the Princess Royal in 1974, and she told him to naff off, I haven't got 2 million quid. And, shush! I want to ask you who has faith in the public domain, why it has taken us 30 years to learn that. That's the question I'm asking you, and nothing else.
Well, one of the things is the Data Protection Act.
And therefore you trust the public domain?
I don't say I trust it. I'm saying that there have been documentaries on television about the effects of cutting down rainforests, and it's common knowledge.
I am all for cutting down the rainforests.
Why?
They are a complete waste of space.
You are an antichrist.
Beautiful. I think we'll leave it there.
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
A caller.
Hello, caller, what's your name?
Oh, hi, Tommy. Everyone knows the tsunami was a natural disaster. No one has said otherwise.
No, you haven't been listening, have you?
Yes, I have. But I don't think you have, because you've twisted the words that the lady said.
No, I haven't at all.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
She didn't say that it was other than a natural disaster.
Now, what's your name?
I'm not telling you.
No, you've got to go then if you're not going to.
But I'll tell you something.
No, you're going to go unless you tell me your name now.
All right, Mary.
Right, are you another Mary? We've got lots of Marys tonight.
Now, Rouge is spelled R-U-C-H-E, and kerfuffle is in the dictionary.
Stick to the point. Let me ask you a question. How good are you at having conversations?
It depends who I'm conversing with.
Well, you decided you want to talk to me. Are you any good at it?
I wouldn't say yay or nay.
Well, then I'll make the judgment.
Not for me to say.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Yeah. Well, it just involves listening and then rejoining to what you've heard.
And not twisting people's words.
Now, the caller who called wanted to find somebody to blame for the scale of the disaster of the tsunami, and I find that reprehensible at this moment in time. Reprehensible.
They weren't blaming anyone.
You're lying.
They were saying it was...
No, you're lying.
Disaster.
You're lying because you want me to be wrong. Not because you want the truth, but because you would prefer for me to be wrong. The caller said that she had been told by somebody who knew something about geology that the impact of the tsunami might have been greater because people had been cutting down trees in Indonesia.
That's exactly it.
Yes, and that's reprehensible.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, how do you know otherwise?
Because I'm a broadcaster and I'm a journalist and I'm a man.
Well, how do you... Oh, God, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Get to your point. Make your point. Make your point. Make it as well as I've made my point.
Well, I think you just twisted the person's words. You've twisted that lady's words. She never said that the tsunami wasn't a natural disaster.
What was she trying to do with her point?
She was just trying to say that things that we do to the Earth can exacerbate these things, possibly.
So what's her point?
Well, that's her point, that rainforests
What's her point about the tsunami?
But the rainforest...
What's her point about the tsunami?
Cutting down should cease immediately.
Is she saying that the disaster was made worse by people cutting down trees?
It could well be. And who are you to say that it wasn't?
I'll tell you who am I to say that it wasn't. At this moment in time, there is so much humanity involved in this terrible disaster that to go around flicking out petty little bits of blame based on what a retired osteopath speculated is reprehensible. I'll just stick with that word because I could be so much more honest, but I won't, because my thoughts, as yours should be and hers should be, are still with the victims of this terrible disaster, so much so that the notion of going and hunting for some kind of perpetrator is reprehensible. I'm not going to go further.
Good.
That's my view.
Well, I think...
But you would be more interested in finding out that I was wrong.
Not at all.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
Totally.
Who cares if you're right or wrong?
You do.
I only care about what's happening to the Earth at the moment. We are destroying our Earth.
I'm not. You might be. You can use your personal plural if you want to. I don't. I'm not. You might be.
You are when you say that it's quite all right to cut down the rainforests.
I don't have a problem with it.
No.
No.
You wouldn't, would you?
No.
Anyway,
maybe I haven't watched John Craven's Newsround as much as you have.
You do have a problem with your spelling.
You ever been to the rainforests?
You've asked that before.
What have you been on before?
People. I have not been to the rainforest.
Fine, I have. What do you want to know about them? What do you want to know about them?
I think I know quite enough to know that
from John Craven's Newsround,
cutting down the rainforest is detrimental both to our climate and our environment. And that's all I have to say.
Well, you don't know too much about your subject, and I don't want you to be frightened. I wish you weren't frightened, and I feel terrible that the business that I'm in... you are.
No.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
Well, you should be. If what you're saying
I know
is
that
true...
from now on, if we start looking after the earth, things might change for the better.
If what you believe is true, you should be frightened. What are you, then?
I'm not frightened.
Well, what are you?
I'm just a person, an ordinary person.
No, I mean, what emotion do you get from what you believe to be the truth?
I get anger.
Okay, don't be angry.
From the fact that people are cutting down the rainforest.
Don't be angry. Because you get your information from the business that I work in, and 99% of it is rubbish.
Well...
And I know that because I've been to the rainforest, and I've worked for 30 years in broadcasting and the media.
Mm-hmm. And you think that...
I know where you've been getting...
the rainforest has no effect on our climate.
You've been getting your information from people I know.
People who know the facts. say.
Do you think that's what broadcasters and journalists are? People who know the facts?
Some are.
Who?
They vary, don't they?
Which ones? How do you know which ones to trust?
It's pretty obvious.
How does that work?
Most of the time.
Go on, tell me. Give me a bit more on that.
No, I'm not going to go any further.
Because you can't, can
Because
you?
I'm not going off the
Shall I tell you who you tend to believe? You tend to believe the doom-mongerers.
Well, I think we all ought to give them some heed.
Just because they're doom-mongerers?
No, yes, certainly, if it's the truth.
Supposing that they're just pandering to what you have declared you want to hear or read.
Why should they? Why
Because
should
that
they
makes
pander?
Why? Why do you think? Why should they give you what you want? Why should a media outlet give you, the listener, the reader, the viewer, what you want? Why should they do that?
Part of the media is engaged in telling the truth.
Which one?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you. You should know. You're a journalist. You know more than I do.
I certainly
about
do.
The media.
But you're the one who's telling me about the media. You're the one who's telling me about your powers of discernment. You're the one who's telling me you know who to trust.
Yes,
Tell me.
I do.
Who?
The people who speak the truth.
And how do you know which ones are
It's
they?
pretty obvious.
You've already said that, but give me more.
No.
Why?
Because you should know.
Because you can't.
You should know.
You can't. I do, but I could tell you.
Well, I can't list them all off name by name.
You couldn't list one.
I'm not going to cause any disruption on the radio.
You can't.
By naming names.
You can't.
No.
You can't. You can't.
Well, because there aren't many of them, frankly, but there are
There's
one
none
or
of them.
two
None
who
of them.
speak the truth.
You don't know who they are. You believe that somebody who's saying something that fits your picture of the world is telling the truth.
If documentaries are put on the television about the Amazon rainforest, from people who are actually there on the ground talking to the tribes whose lives have been ruined by what's going on, then I think we can believe them. And that's all I have to say. Good night.
Good night, darling. Good night. Well, I think that goes for all of us, because I tend to believe people who are saying things that fit my picture of the world. But I'm aware of that. She's not. That's the difference. Big difference. Big boogie difference. Let's take caller on line 1. Good evening, you're on Southern Counties Radio. Who's this?
Is that me?
Yes, it's you. Hello, what's your name?
Dorothy Ball in Stelling, West Sussex.
Hello, Dorothy.
Hello. I listened to your arguments. I think you're very self-opinionated.
Yes, that's right.
And I don't think they're valid at all.
Well, that makes you self-opinionated.
Not at all. We all have opinions, but we can make them politely.
Yeah.
And we can stress them and not argue with other people. Your job is to talk on the radio. I listen to Paul.
Where does it say that?
I beg your pardon?
Where does it say that my job is to talk on the radio?
Well, you are on the radio to produce and have a chat show. That's part of your contract.
I know what my job is. You don't.
Well, I know what you're supposed to do. I work for
No, you
BBC.
don't.
I beg your pardon.
I beg your pardon. You haven't got a clue what I'm supposed to do. How
You're
dare
not
you?
doing your job properly.
How
You're
dare you?
Okay.
How dare you? Just because you were somebody's clerk
I
at
beg your
Broadcasting
pardon.
House,
How can
now
you
you're telling me that you think that you know what my job is supposed to be. You haven't got a clue. How dare you?
How dare you say I was a clerk? You don't know what my job was either.
What were you?
I work for a producer.
As a clerk?
No.
What?
As a PA.
As a clerk?
No, as
Yes,
a
it is.
PA. It's a
I
bit
guess you're
different.
dead right. You're a clerk.
Well, you're self-opinionated on that.
Well, at least I guessed your job better than you guessed mine.
How do you qualify your
And you've got more clues about my job than I had about yours, but I guessed yours.
You did not guess mine
I
at all.
did. You're a clerk.
Well,
And by the way, what's wrong with being a clerk? I didn't say there was anything wrong with being a clerk.
I know you didn't.
You seem to think that you're above being a clerk.
I was.
Oh, you were above being a clerk?
Yes.
Well, I hope there are some clerks listening who you've put down quite nicely for no particular
I haven't
reason.
put them down.
Yes, you
I
have.
not put them. We're all progress in our job.
You're denigrating clerks.
I'm not doing anything else at all.
You are. You're saying you were better
I'm
than a
not going to
clerk.
argue with you because I heard that previous lady, and I think you treated her very badly. I'm not putting you down if you put her down, which I think was very bad policy. That's up to you how you do your job. But I'm just saying that I think your behaviour on this programme at times is quite abusive.
Thank you very much.
And quite aggressive.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you'll agree on that.
I do, absolutely.
Pardon?
I do, absolutely.
Oh, well, that's good, because at least now we know what we're talking about.
Well, I don't think there's any confusion except perhaps for yourself.
Not at all. Not at all. I was merely stating an opinion, which you do very well.
Yes, I do, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Don't I, just
and very aggressive.
I haven't had anybody come up past my knee yet.
No.
No.
That would be a job too, wouldn't it?
It would, wouldn't it, eh?
Yeah, it would. It would indeed.
Fantastic.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
No,
I'd love to see the day myself.
Yeah, I would too. But I just think that sometimes you can be over the top. You can be very aggressive and very, very unpleasant to people who listen or try to listen to this programme and get so infuriated by your self-opinionated...
Good, I'm glad, and I'll tell you why I'm glad, because this country's got quite enough anaesthetic floating around. I think we need just a little bit more excitement, and I think we need a little bit more edge, we need a little bit more attitude, we need a little bit more sharp points, we need a little bit more spike. Bath, get us going. We need to get our temperature raised, we need to get our pulse racing. We're all half asleep. We're all don't knows.
You think so?
I do.
And what were your opinion on this terrible, earth-shattering earthquake? Don't you think people went for that and helped out on that one? Were we all apathetic and quiet on that? Because I don't think so. What was your attitude to that?
That's not a question yet.
It is a question.
It is not.
Well, I'm just asking you.
How can you have an opinion about an earthquake?
I asked you what your opinion was.
Well, I know. Well, how can you have an opinion about an earthquake?
I have.
What's your earthquake opinion then?
I think it's a terrible, terrible situation.
Good Lord, you don't think that an earthquake's a terrible, terrible situation? Hang on just a second, give me a pen. I must write that one down. Right, let's get this straight. You think that an earthquake is a terrible, terrible thing?
For the people who suffered.
Focuses on a particular aspect or issue of the disaster. And who's that having a go?
My husband, he gets very cross with you.
Well, put him on then if he thinks he's so tough.
No, he wouldn't speak to you. I'm sorry, he wouldn't.
Why not then? Is he better than that?
I don't expect to answer that.
Well, then tell him to be quiet whilst you're talking to me. It's rude. Isn't it?
No.
Yes, it is.
He's giving me an opinion on my conversation with you. That's all he's saying, which he's quite entitled to. He was
I don't agree.
He was very cross that I rang up and took the trouble to try and talk to you.
Was he good? I'm pleased about that. What's his name?
No, I'm not going to discuss my husband with you on the phone. There's no need to do. I merely phoned you up.
Well, he's appeared on this programme. How are we going to log him?
I beg your pardon?
He's appeared on the programme. How are we going to log him as anonymous?
I'm sorry?
He has appeared on the programme.
He has?
Yes, we heard him talking.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I shouldn't appear. That's just a verbal thing in the background. He hasn't appeared at all.
Yes, he has
Any more than
appeared.
you've appeared. I hear you. I don't see you.
Yeah, but we have to log him. What do we log him as? Come on, woman, come to bed.
No.
What should we log him as?
No. But no, the point being that I made...
Coward of East Grinstead.
No, I wouldn't. I shouldn't continue that tone anymore if I were you.
Why not? What's going to happen?
It's not very complimentary to anybody, really, is it? But anyway, disregarding
Well,
that,
why won't he come to the phone then?
he didn't come to the phone. He's talking to me across the room.
I know, but you're talking to somebody else. That's rude. I was taught not to talk to people who are talking to somebody else.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
What do you mean, dear, oh dear? That's true. I was taught that is manners.
You have manners?
Well, your husband doesn't.
I don't think you do on occasions either.
Well, let's talk about your husband.
Extremely rude. Extremely rude.
I don't talk to people who are talking to somebody else.
That's very offensive indeed. And
Thank you very much.
As for your comments on Elvis Presley, they again are your opinion.
You're not an Elvis Presley fan, are you?
If I was, I wouldn't talk about you because I think he was good. He was a good performer.
No, he wasn't.
Well, this is what you're saying.
Trash. He was trash, and most of the people who think he's fantastic are pretty trashy.
This is your opinion. You're very detrimental to people's thoughts.
No, look, it's just a fact.
No, it's not a fact. It's a fact. It's not a fact.
Unlike some people, I've been around the block a few times. I've travelled. I've met all sorts. I've kept my eyes open. I've kept journals. I've watched. I've photographed. I've analysed. My opinions are based on travels.
Well, I've travelled extensively.
What was I doubt it.
I reckon.
Where?
Well, I'm not going to list all the countries I've been to.
It's like that remark in Monty Python, isn't it? Yes, she's travelled. She's from Purley.
I've been to America. I've been all over Canada. I've been all over Europe, just to name a few. So I think I've travelled apart from going. I've never been to Purley, actually, but I mean, so don't sort of try and call it...
Well, anyway, I enjoyed having a fight with you. It was quite good fun, wasn't it?
Okay.
It was quite good exercise for the mind.
Well, that's right.
Yes,
God knows we need that.
What?
I said, God knows we need that.
Well, see, that's my point, mate. That is my point, isn't it? We all need to get G'd up a little bit more.
Well, I think we're quite G'd up enough in this country with the situation it is.
Now, why don't you stop disagreeing with absolutely everything I say? I bet you if I was to tell you that your husband is the finest man on planet Earth, you say, well, I don't know about that.
No, I wouldn't discuss it. No, I think the point is that you have your opinion, you have your comments, same as I do. I mean, that's just part of life's little pattern. But I certainly wouldn't condemn anyone for having opinions. God knows, this is what it's all about.
Yes, all right. Thank you very much indeed for your call. But we go now to Worthing, and Mary is on line 2. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Tommy.
Mary.
I was cleaning my teeth and only half listening to you, just turning on the radio. Were you advocating that people should have sex if they want it, whether they're married or not, just for the sheer hell of it?
Well,
Was that your message?
No, I put it better than that, but...
Well, that was the meaning that came over.
Yeah.
And you said it was to satisfy your animalistic instinct.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you better than an animal?
No, sir. Which animal are you better than?
Well, I reason. I have reasoning powers, and I think you should live
Well, when you say
a
better,
more ethical life. And also, you say it doesn't harm anybody.
When you say
Let me
better-
say my piece, Tommy.
No, I won't. No, because... Hang on a second. No, wait.
This is how you overcome people, by shouting them down, Tommy.
Wait.
Let me say this.
No, Mary.
That's your blustering way of shutting people up.
No, that's
Tommy, let me say what I'm going to tell you.
No, you're not allowed to come on here and just talk endlessly.
No, I'm not going to talk endlessly.
If
I
you
have
make
two
a
more
point...
points to make.
Yes, well,
I will tell you my 2 points.
Well, we'll deal with
My
your points one at a
points
time. Mary.
Go on then.
We will deal with your points one at a time.
Go on then. You're not an animal, you say, or you think you're not any better than an animal.
No. First of all, okay?
Right.
First of all, you did not hear what I said.
Right. Go on then. Enlighten me.
How did I find that out?
By what I've just asked you.
Yeah, because you said that you were only half listening.
I was.
So, on the basis...
I did ask your young lady, and she said to come on and ask you yourself.
Yeah, well, you didn't.
Well, come on then. Give me the answer.
Well, why, then, didn't you ask for clarification?
I'm asking you now.
Because if you do have reason, wouldn't it have been reasonable to have asked what it was I was trying to say?
Well, come on then. What are you trying to say?
I have a question for you.
Right.
Why didn't you do that yourself?
I am asking you now, so I'm backtracking. Come on, answer me.
That's not the answer to my question.
No. Our question is, did you say you were satisfying your animal instinct?
You should be asking me to repeat what it was I said.
Repeat it then.
Right. Why didn't you think of that yourself?
Repeat it now then.
Why didn't you think of asking me that yourself?
You're trying to get out of the answer.
I'm trying to establish that you're somebody who forms an opinion before you have any of the facts.
Right, go on then.
Is that true?
Give me the facts then.
Are you somebody who forms an opinion before
Probably yes. I jump in with both feet and then wish I hadn't. But come on, give me the facts then.
Why do you do that, and why does that make you better than an animal?
It doesn't. But anyway, I wasn't saying that I was better than an animal.
Yes, you said that 5 minutes ago. I've got it on tape. Would you like to hear that?
All right, then. Go on, play it back then.
Would you like to hear that?
No. Come on
why
then.
not?
Now, let's carry this discussion further.
Now you're saying...
Now let's carry this discussion further, Tommy. Come on. Play the game. We're having a discussion. We're not having an argument.
Yes, we are.
What? An argument? I don't argue with people. I discuss.
No, you don't.
I am.
You don't have the ability to discuss.
I'm trying to discuss with you.
No, you're not. You arrive at the radio, you haven't heard what somebody has said, but you want to condemn it.
Well, answer me now then.
What? Which question?
Tommy, I asked you, did you say you were no better than animal, you satisfy your animal instincts, and that it hurts nobody?
No, I didn't say that.
Well, what were you saying then?
Which bit? I said a lot of things tonight.
Answer those questions, those statements that I've just made.
I say this, I say sex is great.
Yes.
So why not have it whenever you want to?
No.
No, that's what I say.
No, you shouldn't.
I didn't
How
ask
do you think we've got an explosion of AIDS, and in the old days, gonorrhea and syphilis?
Again, you weren't listening to what I said.
Why not? If you're advocating have sex wherever you want it, with whoever you want, and not necessarily your wife or one partner, that is not right.
You haven't listened to a word I've said, and yet you think I'm wrong.
That is the way it came over.
No, it didn't come over. You didn't hear properly.
Well, go on then, tell me what you did say then.
You know what?
What?
You heard half of what was said.
Yeah, but I was cleaning my teeth at the time and running the tap. And I was thinking, my God, what's he saying on air?
You're a disgrace.
Thank you very much.
You're an absolute disgrace. You heard half of what was said.
Yes.
And that half of what you heard, you misunderstood. And I'll tell you what you did. You misunderstood it deliberately.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Because you wanted to believe that there was somebody saying something that you could get them on. And you can't get me. You can't get me. I'll tell you why you can't get me. Because you're not good enough and because you're not decent enough.
Ah. How long have you been married, Tommy?
Because you want to condemn me, and I have no interest in condemning you. I have no interest in trapping you or getting you, but because you pitched up with your boxing gloves on, you're getting a right bloody pounding.
You're going at me because you know I've won. Bye, Tommy!
Coward. She's gone. Fantastic. Well, that was quite good fun, wasn't it? 08459570057 is the number. You can text us on... That was super. 7786 2070 70. 5 to 11 is if you've got a train to catch, and we've got, is it Fred?
Yes.
Alison, there you are, on line 1. Good evening, Fred.
Good evening, Tommy. I've listened to your show. It's jolly good, you know, old chap. And you said that you don't need the money for doing the show. So I thought, what you could do, seeing as you care about the people in Sudan so much, is send all the money that you earned from doing the show to the people in Sudan.
Well, I support several charities, as you would expect, but I'm not going to talk about it because why don't you just say what's on your mind instead of hiding behind a remark that you've had too long to think about?
No, I think it's actually a very...
go on, say what's on your mind. Go on, make a conversation out of it.
Well, it's a valid point. You
haven't made a point yet?
I have. I've made a very good and intense point.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't, because you don't understand yourself.
Yes, I do.
You see, you're jealous.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
No, you are. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows the first word that came into everybody's mind when they heard you was that you're jealous. You wish you were me. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to be you.
I wouldn't want to be you either.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Of course you do. You want to swap. You want to trade. You want to have my life. You want to be me.
No,
you want to see the things I think.
No.
You want to smell the things I smell. You want to taste the things I taste. You want to be me. I don't blame you. Lots of people do. Mostly men.
No, you're too small, Tommy. I wouldn't want to be you. You're only about 5'4".
Well, I'll tell you what.
I mean, for a big man with a big mouth, you're a midget.
Well, that's just a poor insult. I can't be bothered.
No, you're a midget. You're not very big.
Poor insult. Can't you do any better than that?
I think that's very good.
Say you, for example. You're a non-entity. See, that's the reaction you get when you insult somebody well.
No, you're a midget. It's not your fault.
You laugh. You laughed out loud. Now, go on, I'll tell you what, mate. You make me laugh. Go on. I'll give you £1,000 if you can make me laugh like I just made you laugh.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed you making
No, that's the challenge.
No, I find...
Because you can't do it. So, not only am I everything better than you, but I'm funnier than you. Mind you, we always knew that I would be funnier than you, because when did you last make somebody laugh?
When did you last send your money up to the Sudan instead of blabbing your mouth off about how much you care about the people in Sudan?
You asked the
and blabbing your mouth off every weekend about how much you don't need the money because you're so rich. When
I am very rich.
There's people who probably tune into your show who are actually on the breadline. So
and they enjoy...
So perhaps they think you're a bit of a big mouth.
No, they enjoy my success.
Well, so what do you care about the people in Sudan? What do you do for them then? What do you do for the people in the Sudan? Your comment to the woman earlier who phoned up, the very nice sweet woman. No, what do you do for people in Sudan? You blab your mouth off, you make all the comments across the air, so justify, substantiate your claims, Tommy. You're very good at asking other people questions. You tell me what you do for the people in Sudan.
No,
you shut your cake hole. No, you shut your cake hole.
When am I supposed to answer your question? When am I supposed to answer your question?
He's in Sudan, everyone, but he has loads of money and he doesn't need people.
I'm going for a slash. When you're ready for me to answer your question proper,
you
just say now.
No, but you care about the people in Sudan, so what are you going to do for them? What are you going to do for them then, Tommy? Well, come on, you justify yourself. Mr. 5'3½", Tommy Boyd, or whatever you are, 5'6", or 6 3/4, what are you doing for people in Sudan? You can't justify it, you see? You've gone quiet. Or you've cut me off.
What I said was, I'd answer your question as soon as you said now. All you got to do is say now, and I'll answer your question.
Millions are starving in Africa. What are you doing for them, Tommy? You said you care for the people in Sudan.
I said I'd answer your question as soon as you said now.
You haven't answered my question.
You're not paying attention.
Well, let's make this a subject for next hour. Tommy Boyd says he cares for the people in Sudan, and he earns so much money that he doesn't need to do Southern Counties Radio on Saturday night. So I'm putting a question to all the audience: what's Tommy Boyd doing for the people in Sudan?
You don't suppose anybody listens to you, do you?
Well, I do. I think loads of people are really enjoying this. I think this is great entertainment. In fact, to be honest with you, I could probably do the show better than you.
Well, all right, off you go then.
Well, okay.
Off you go then. You take a call. You get some calls. Off
okay,
you go.
Fine. Okay.
You get some calls. Nobody's ready to call to talk to you yet.
Sorry?
Nobody's emailed you, and nobody's texted you, so what are you going to do? I'll leave it to you. You're on. What's your name?
You know my name, you just introduced me.
Yeah, but your full name, you idiot.
Sorry?
Your full name. People don't go on the radio as Ken or Arthur, they go on the radio as Bob Staunton, so what's your full name?
Can you explain to me technically then how you're going to transmit the call straight to my address?
No, what happens is, when you get a call, I will put the call through to you and you can take it. If you get a call.
Well, I wasn't ever going to get this money of yours to the Sudan from the Saturday night show.
No, you said that you could present the show better than me.
No.
If you do that, listen to me, if you do that, right, if you can do it for an hour, alright, I'll pay you my money,
I don't want
you can do what you like with it.
No, send it to the Sudan, don't give it to me, I've got loads of money.
I will send you the money and you can do what you like with it.
No, I don't need the money.
Are you chickening out?
No, we'll send it to the Sudan.
Are you chickening out?
No, send it to Oxfam.
You're on the air. I am going to go and have a fag. And if you get a call, we'll put it through to you. Alright?
I don't mind talking to people on the air. I'm quite happy to talk to people on the air.
Yeah, but nobody's called you.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it, Tommy? Well, perhaps they're too busy sending money to the Sudan like you are supposed to.
And nobody's texted you.
Well, I'm really worried about that.
And nobody's emailed you. So
that
you
really bothers me. I'm really upset about that, Tommy.
Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let you carry on with your show,
No, you've diverted the subject away from your weak point, which is you made the statement that you care about people in the Sudan. And I just suggested that, seeing as you don't need the money from your show, that you send it to the people in Sudan.
It's your show, pal.
It's not, it's your show. You're just lucky to have me on it.
You're the guy who said you could do it better than me.
You're the guy who said he cares about the Sudan.
Away you go.
You're the guy who said he cares about the Sudan. This is the crux of the matter. That Tommy Boyd said he cares about the people in Sudan, and I listened to the show the other week, and he said that, you know, he doesn't need the money. So I just thought it might be a good idea. If the money he earns from the show, he sends the people in the Sudan. So I'd like to open it up to all the audience, all the loads of people who are listening in South East England about what Tommy Boyd can do with all this money he doesn't need, and he cares about people in the Sudan. So I open that up. That's my question to the floor, to everyone who's listening. I've got to go because I'm just so not as good as Tommy Boyd.
No calls.
Oh, it's such a shame, isn't it? I'm really upset.
No emails.
Can I ask you a question?
You're crap.
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 Well, that's because you're losing. You're insulting me.
But you said you were better than me.
When somebody starts insulting somebody, Tommy,
You've been on the air for 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
Well, you're losing this argument hands down.
You said you were better than me and you could do the show.
Well, I could do the show better than you.
Well, you're not doing it better than me.
You don't even understand the technology you're dealing with.
You can't handle it unless I'm helping you out.
You don't even understand the technology you're dealing with.
Gary wants to talk to you.
Okay, put him through.
Gary from Leeds.
Hello, Gary.
Hang on a second. Hold on a second. You've got to wait. You don't say, hello, Gary. You say, Gary from Leeds is online, whatever.
No, I don't really want to.
Well, that's how you do phoning, mate.
Okay, thanks for the lesson, Tommy.
Right, so you're Fred. Now you introduce Gary from Leeds. He wants to talk to you.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
Fred.
Or Ken.
Yeah. How are you, Gary? All right?
I'm fine.
How's Leeds?
It's great.
Yeah. You a Leeds supporter?
Not really.
Who'd you support?
I'm an armchair fan.
Who'd you support?
Well, I don't really support any team. I just love football.
Do you?
But if I don't go to a match, then I don't really support a team, I don't think.
Right.
What do you think?
He's better than you, Fred.
No, I didn't say that, Fred. He's trying to turn us against each other, so if you want to sort of succumb to that, that's up to you. But I've got absolutely nothing against you. I work in Leeds sometimes, actually. It's quite a nice place. I like the Dales, and I find it very funny up there. But Tommy, he wants to turn us on each other. So if you want to be sort of manipulated into doing that, then that's up to you. But
well, the Dales aren't in Leeds. Well, I rang because I thought that you sounded like a fool. I mean, you asked Tommy a question. He was going to answer it. All you had to do was say no. So why didn't you want him to say no?
Sorry?
Why didn't you want Tommy... why didn't you want to say no so that Tommy could answer the question that you have been going on about for about 5 minutes?
Why do you think I didn't want to say no?
I don't know. I'm not a mind reader.
Well, why do you ask why then?
Because I'm not a mind reader.
Well, then why ask then if you're not a mind reader?
Well, how am I going to find out why you didn't want Tommy to answer your question?
I don't know. You tell me. You made the statement.
How can I tell you if I can't read your mind? I've just told you I can't read your mind.
Good.
What do you mean, good?
What? Sorry. Good.
Pardon?
Sorry?
What do you mean, good?
Well, good, fine. You know.
Good, fine what?
Good, fine, whatever.
Whatever?
Yeah.
Right.
That was interesting, wasn't it? That was really exciting, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, well, it shows really that you can't answer any questions. You can't ask a question properly.
Are those thoughts, are those thoughts subjective?
What do you mean?
Well, you obviously don't know what subjective means, so it's pointless talking to you.
Why is that obvious?
Well...
Why is that obvious?
Well, because you can't answer the question, are those thoughts subjective?
What is... You
don't know what subjective means. Ask Tommy, he'll tell you.
Excuse me.
No, I've just asked you the question, are those thoughts subjective?
Yeah, and I'm going to answer your question.
Right, go on.
Do you want me to answer the question?
Well, are those thoughts subjective?
No, you asked the question first. You asked the question before you asked me what subjective means, didn't you?
Well, I'm asking you if they're subjective, your thoughts.
Pardon?
Are your thoughts subjective?
My thoughts about what?
About the statements you're making.
What statements? I've made many statements.
Well, you haven't answered my question if they're subjective thoughts about your statements, so if you can't even answer the question if they're subjective, why the hell are you asking me the question in the first place? Well, answer me, go on. You come out with a statement, so back it up, substantiate your
I don't understand what you want me to back up.
You're asking me questions, and I'm asking you if your questions are, subjective questions, and you can't back them up.
How can it be a subjective question?
I've asked you, are your questions subjective, and you don't know what subjective means, so it's pointless pursuing the conversation if you don't know what I'm saying, is it? So you might as well go back to,
Do you know how stupid you sound?
You still haven't answered my question, have you?
But you've asked me two
questions. Answered my question about subjectiveness.
You've asked me two questions.
You've asked me a question. I don't even know why they're putting this on the air. It's just not even worth listening to. I mean...
Because I asked you.
I asked you if your question's subjective, and you don't know what subjective means. So go and get a dictionary and look it up, and when you understand what subjective means, come back and ask me, and I'll be only too happy to continue the conversation. But you don't know what subjective means, so we're wasting our time pursuing the conversation.
Okay, so if I tell you what subjective means...
Bye, I'm going. I'm not discussing.
I see, you have to go. See, when you go, you've lost.
No, because
when you go, you've lost.
You don't know. No, you don't know what subjective
means. When you go, you've lost.
Right, okay, so let's try some more things then. Tell me about the history of Yorkshire, where you come from. Tell me what happened in 1066.
Who said I come from Yorkshire?
Well, your accent tells me that.
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, tell me about Yorkshire. Tell me about the history.
Why do I need to know the history of Yorkshire?
Well, you don't seem to know a lot, really, do you? You seem to come on the phone and challenge people, but you don't really seem to know a lot about much, do you? I mean, you're not coming out with anything intelligent, are you? I mean, you're just coming out with one-word questions and nothing to back them up. I can't be bothered to talk to you. I really.
Do you want to know the history of Yorkshire?
Yeah, tell.
Do you want to know the history of Yorkshire?
Yeah, tell me what happened in 1066 in Yorkshire. In September 1066 at Stamford Bridge. I mean,
Stamford Bridge?
Yeah.
What, you want to tell me about the Battle of Hastings?
No, that wasn't at Stamford Bridge, that was at Bell. See, that's what I'm saying. You come on the phone. It's like Tommy goes on the phone and he talks about the starving people in Sudan, and then the week before he's saying he's earning loads of money and he doesn't need it. So my point was, then why doesn't he send his money that he's earning from the show on Saturday night to the people in Sudan? I think that's quite a good point. I'm sorry. I mean, do you care about the people in Sudan?
But
hang on a minute. Let's get to the point. You're not substantiating your point, my old son.
What point?
You're just stuck in the question now. You're not substantiating your points. All you do is come on here and make a load.
Substantiating what point? I haven't made a point.
Do you think your comments are trite?
The only point I've made
is about...
The only point that I have made...
I don't think this is on the air, and I hope it's not, because
I think it is. The only point that I've made is about you. Is that how foolish you sound?
Well, no, it's foolish you sound.
You asked me a question.
No, it's foolish you sound, old son, because you don't even know anything about the history of where you come from. You don't know what's...
I don't know anything about the history of Yorkshire.
Well, you said you're from Leeds. You've got a Yorkshire accent, so it's pretty obvious you're from Yorkshire. I mean, it doesn't take...
Did I say I wasn't from Yorkshire?
Well, it's obvious you are, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't take Einstein to work that out, does it?
If I lived in the Sudan, you think I should know about the history of Sudan?
Well, I mean, you're coming on the radio.
Why do you think I need to know the history of...
You're coming on the radio...
Why do you think I need to know the history of Yorkshire?
Well, I'm just saying...
And why do you think if I did know everything about Yorkshire, what would that mean?
It would mean you had a bit of intelligence, wouldn't it? Because
why would it? What's intelligence?
You're the one making...
What's intelligence?
Sorry?
What is intelligence?
Well, it's something you certainly haven't got, isn't it? Let's be fair.
I think I sound more intelligent than you.
Oh, do you? Really?
Yes.
How do you justify that, then?
How do I justify that?
Yeah. Tell me.
I'm one of the wisest men on the planet.
Are you?
I'll have you know.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, would you like to tell me some... perhaps I can ask some more questions then if you're so right.
Well, tell you what, Fred, you're doing a really crap job hosting this show, but why don't you link to another caller as well as Gary, because there's plenty of people who would very much appreciate some of your wisdom. For example, Tony from Crawley. Would you like to have Tony and Gary? Let's see whether we can... Tony, so go ahead. No, Gary, you're the Fred, you're the host, so you say, Gary, stay right where you are. Let's bring in Tony from Crawley on this one. Off you go.
No, I can't do that. I'm not capable, sorry.
That's what I'm going to say. Well, say hello.
It's out of my intellectual range. You're just so superior. I'll leave that bit to you.
It's beginning to look that way. Tony, you're through to Fred. What did you want to say to Fred?
Hello, Fred.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Gary,
you can hear me okay, can you?
Yeah, sure. How you doing, all right? You having a good night?
This isn't working. I can only hear him via the radio.
You can only hear what, sorry?
Tommy? Alison?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can,
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, we were trying something different.
Yes, I know, Alison explained that.
All right, then. Okay, listen, Tony, I'll tell you what. If you put the phone down, Alison will phone you back. And Gary, can I say thank you very much indeed for your call?
Okay.
All right, I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed it as well. It was great fun.
Okay.
Thanks for that. I'll talk to you again sometime.
All right, then, bye.
Fred, you stay right where you are. And do a bit... Are you there, Fred? Yeah, do a bit of padding then, because we've got to get Tony up on a different line for you.
Well, it's not very good, Tommy. I thought you said you could run the show well.
Pad, man, pad.
I thought you said, you know...
Remind us of what's going on.
You could run the show. No, I mean, I thought you were running it. I mean, I'm just a sideshow. I thought you were sort of, you know...
Pad, mate, he's not there yet.
You know.
Pad.
That.
Remind people what's going on.
Well, no, I'm just an amateur. You're being paid. I mean, I'm doing this free. I mean, are you going to send me a sort of cut of tonight's money?
That's what I thought I'd do if you were any good.
Well, why you keep me on then?
Because you said that you were better than me.
Well, that's not hard, is it?
Well, carry on then.
Well,
Pad, you're all right. We've got Tony on another line now, so you could introduce your next caller, Fred, who's Tony from Crawley.
Hello. No, I'll leave that to Tommy because he's sort of better at me than this, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, Tony, you're through to Fred.
Hello.
Yeah, he can hear you, Tony.
Just looking at a film about the starving people in Sudan, and it reminds me of a radio show I sort of listened to, and the commentator said that he cared about people in Sudan, and he said that he didn't need to do the show, he had so much money. Just thinking about who that reminded me of. Can't think.
Are you there, Tony?
Let me think. You're not doing very well, Tommy, are you? I thought you said you could handle the show.
Yeah, you're in charge of the show. I'm just helping you out from time to time with the technicalities. If you were
well,
here...
I mean, but you're not doing very well. You're not getting people through. I mean, do you think you ought to get an engineer in there who knows what he's doing? Because, I mean...
That's what happens in radio. You have to deal with it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're not doing very well, are you?
No, you're not doing very well.
No, I'm doing better than you.
Pad, just tell people what's going on. We'll see whether we can get Tony back from Crawley. But at the moment, you're on your own.
Oh, dear. I'm so upset.
Would you like a sidekick? Would you like Alison in here just to have a chat with her?
She's got a nicer voice than you have. You've got Alison in, yeah, by all means.
Well, hold on, she's just getting Tony out. This is what happens to me, and you've got to fill. So,
I've got to go soon anyway. I can't sit on here and talk to you all night. I've got other
But you said you could do the show till 12.
Well, if you want, I'll stay on. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. I'll sit on here and talk to you all night long, if it makes you happy. But what are we going to do about starving people in Sudan, Tommy, which was your original statement?
What did Gary have to say to you about that?
Oh, lots of intelligent and profound and deep things.
Such as?
I don't know. You tell me. You're listening.
Are you not?
No, but what do you think about the starving people in Sudan? Are you going to send them any of this money you earn?
Are you saying that you weren't listening to Gary?
Tommy, you said you earn loads of money and that you don't need to do the show and you don't need the money and that you worry about the people in Sudan.
I'll send you £1,000. You can do what you like with it if you tell me what Gary had to say to you.
No, you won't send me £1,000 at all.
What did Gary have to say to you?
You won't send me £1,000 at all. I'll tell you what, Tommy, I challenge you on air to send that £1,000 to Oxfam.
What did Gary?
How about that, Tommy? I tend you to send £1,000 of your mingy little money to Oxfam on air.
I will, provided you tell me what Gary had to say to you.
I'm not going to explain to you what Gary said to me.
You can't listen, can you?
What do you mean I can't listen? I'm listening to you.
You don't have any listening skills.
That's not true.
You don't have any listening skills.
That's not true. I'm sorry.
What did Gary say to you?
I don't want to tell you what Gary said to me.
You can't.
I want to know why you won't send £1,000 to Oxfam.
Didn't pick up a word he said, did you?
Why won't you send £1,000 to Oxfam, Tommy?
Talk to him for
why won't you
15
send
minutes.
£1,000 to Oxfam, Tommy? Tommy, why with all your money that you boast about with your great big mega mouth about how much money you've got, don't you send some money to the Sudan because you said you care about it?
We've got another caller. It's Paul from Eastbourne. Do you want to introduce him or shall I?
No, you do.
Paul from Eastbourne would like to speak to Fred. Go ahead, Paul.
Hello, Fred.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah. Do you remember what Gary said?
Sorry?
Do you remember what Gary said?
Do you remember what he said?
Yeah, I did. Repeat after me. He said, now.
Sorry?
He said, now. Repeat after me. He said, now.
No, sorry. Can't do
it. Yeah. You know, what kind of person makes a radio presenter?
You tell me.
I'm asking you the question.
You tell me.
No, I'm asking you the question.
No, sorry, mate. Can't tell you.
You can't do it, can you?
No, I'm not as bright as you, obviously.
No. Well, you know, it's about, you know, personality. It's about charisma.
Is it?
And, mate, yeah, I'll tell you something, Fred. You ain't got it, mate. Yeah.
All right. Well, there we are. Well, look, you know, I mean, I you know, obviously haven't got what you've got, and I'm so terribly sorry about that. But are you going to send some money to Oxfam then, mate, instead of spouting your mouth off?
Well, I actually said it's children in need. But,
oh, do you? Right. How much you send to them then? How much you send to them?
Me personally, I've done about £1,000, but my corporation's done about 2.2.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Aren't you good? Well, can we have a round of applause for this chap here because he's such a nice fellow? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Everyone clap hands. Right, ready? There we are. Aren't you a good chap? It's just so wonderful you're so good.
Yeah, Mr. Boyd.
Thank you very much for being such a great guy. You know,
Mr. Boyd,
well done.
to get this loser off the old radio out because he's a complete tosser. So
I know he is, but...
over to you, matey.
I know you.
Good night.
All right, thanks, Paul.
But it's funny that you're letting all certain types of people through who just agree with you, Tommy, isn't it? And all the other people who don't agree with you, how you don't let them through. That's very, very clever, isn't it?
I've got no control over that, Alex.
Oh, no, you haven't. You're too much of a flipping wimp to let anyone through who disagree with you.
You didn't want to
say just about sums you up, Tommy. You're a great presenter. I love your show. You're a lovely guy. I love it, and I'm going to keep listening to it because it's great entertainment. Love you, but I just wish you'd back up if you say you care about people in the Sudan. That was my point. Good evening.
Okay, anybody there? Good evening. You're on Southern Counties Radio.
Hello, Tommy.
Hello, who's this?
Martin from Littlehampton.
Welcome, Martin.
I'm phoning you for two reasons. Okay. One is because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yep.
And the second one is you mentioned golf courses and golf.
Marvellous game.
Okay, and firstly, we've got a few golf courses around Worthing, Littlehampton you're no doubt aware of.
I'm aware of a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. Now, a tenuous link, but you may be aware that there's a bypass going around the village of Angmering near Littlehampton.
I fall asleep very quickly during conversations about bypasses.
Okay, well, obviously try and drink some more coffee, and you should have paid attention at school. You would have got used to it then.
I'll stick to the Cabernet Sauvignon. Good night.
That's all right.
Carry on.
Right. Amusingly, we call the bypass at Angmering locally the diversion because the bypass actually takes longer to get round Angmering than it does to go straight through it. Now, local theory is that the bypass should have been put through on the western side of Angmering, but didn't get put through there because of the golf course, i.e. Ham Manor. So what I'd like to discuss is, do local Littlehampton people and the Angmering people feel that the planners were afraid of actually purchasing the land compulsorily off Ham Manor golf course?
It doesn't matter, man. Move on.
Well, have you tried driving around there? What about the poor people of Angmering that had to have people driving through it?
There are worse things than
to take the shortcut.
There are worse.
Ask the Angmering people that will phone you up, and they'll tell you there's not worse things.
No, they're not. Not everybody in Angmering's is anywhere near as small-minded as that. Come on, just leave.
When they were selling their houses, they're trying to sell their houses now because they didn't get the bypass they wanted.
Leave for work 10 minutes earlier, mate, and then you won't be delayed.
I walk to work.
Well, what's your problem then?
That's not a problem.
What's it got to do with you? It's got nothing to do with you.
Oh, it has.
You're poking your nose in where it doesn't belong. Now, come on, Martin.
An example that golf courses rule the world. Yeah?
Well, I'd rather Tiger Woods rule the world than you. I mean, what would your world be like if you ran the world then? What would be the first thing you'd do tomorrow? Right, wake up and it's right across planet Earth. Martin in Littlehampton is now king of planet Earth. So what's the first thing you're going to do then?
get Tommy Boyd some manners and get you to pay attention at school a bit more, to teach you some rules now, wouldn't
you? So you haven't got a single creative idea of your own, have you, Martin?
Well, I think quite a few people find that creative.
Well, let's hear your idea then. Come on, man. You say that golf clubs rule the world. I know you're exaggerating, because your point wouldn't be interesting if you didn't exaggerate a little bit, something. It's still not very interesting, but anyway, bypasses. I really do need a big shot of adrenaline, you know, and it needs to be Lowndes adrenaline, because that's good stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen it in the doctor's
Tell you one thing you don't need, Johnny.
Keep me lied. My name's Tommy, by the way, and I haven't forgotten your name, Keith. So.
I wasn't bothered about it. I don't think your name's consequential. One thing you need is a lot less hyperbole.
It's not pronounced hyperbole.
You're the king of exaggeration, aren't you?
It's not pronounced hyperbole.
Oh, isn't it now?
No, it's not. I've checked on this. Just like it's not a buffet, it's a buffet. No, it is. It's a buffet on the train. I bet you still say buffet, don't you?
It depends on which school you very rarely attended, doesn't it? It depends on which school you very rarely attended. Because you obviously didn't.
What are the roots of the word hyperbole, then?
What does that matter?
Yes, you used the word, mate.
What,
you don't know what it means, do you?
Is that what you're asking me?
No, I'm not. I asked you what the roots were.
Is that really... What's the consequence of that?
Find out whether you're educated.
Let's not digress here. You're asking what I'd like to do about golf courses.
No, excuse me. We're not digressing.
No, I won't excuse you. You've gone off at a tangent.
No, you went off at a tangent by using a word you didn't know what the root was.
Does that matter?
Yes, otherwise you shouldn't use the word if you don't know what it means.
Of course I know what it means.
What's its root then? What's the root of the word hyperbole?
Do you mean the meaning of it?
No, I mean the roots of it.
Well,
is it Latin or Greek? Is it Latin or Greek?
Oh dear, does it really matter?
Yeah, well, you shouldn't use the word then if you don't know what it means.
It's part of the English language, is it not?
No, it's Greek.
Is it not an English language?
It's Greek.
It may be Greek to you, as everything obviously is.
It's Greek, and you didn't know that. Now,
Who says I didn't know that? I just didn't want to bother
saying
much
know that.
The game.
What are the roots of the word hyperbole?
I don't want to tell you. I don't bother.
All right, what's the dictionary definition of the word hyperbole then?
It's exaggeration.
No, it isn't.
It is?
No, it isn't. Go and get a dictionary now and bring it to the radio and read it out.
Does a dictionary really matter to you?
Have you got one in the house?
I'm not in the house.
Where are you?
That's none of your business.
Well, is there a dictionary there?
No, I haven't got a dictionary here, no.
Why not?
Look, Tommy, the fact is that it's inconsequential what I meant by hyperbole. People know it means exaggeration.
Listen, pal, if you're going to come... Listen to me. Just listen to me. If you want to get personal, forget it. Because you're dealing with a god of getting personal.
What a hypocrite.
No, actually, hypocrisy is not what I'm talking about at the moment.
That's what you're doing, though. That's what you were doing to me a short while ago.
Why is that hypocritical?
You're getting personal with me.
Yeah, what did I say to you that was personal?
All this bit about, get a life, man, what would you do if you ruled the world, all that sort of thing.
That wasn't personal.
Yeah? Oh, wasn't it?
You said...
You make this up as you go along, don't you?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Did you just spot that? Or are you on page 37 then, eh? Down at the bottom then, your line comes in and says...
Your creativity is all about basically just coming out with a load of insulting provocation at people, isn't it?
You started it. You started it.
Oh, here we are.
You started it. You started it because here you are. You think you've got a point to make about a goddamn bypass. Middle of a Saturday evening, light entertainment, phone-in show. Man rings up from Littlehampton, wants to talk about the bypass. For goodness sake, I said it before, I'll say it again. To you. And if you take it personally, fine.
It's a diatribe, Tommy. It's a diatribe.
Get a life.
It's contradiction. It's argument and a diatribe.
Get a life.
Well, I'll make the point if you'll let me.
No, I don't want you to make the point, because I have a very strong suspicion it will be tedious.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
You're a hypocrite again.
Go on then. Go on then, make your point.
The point is...
Make your point, and you tell me... tell me after you've made your point...
Tommy, can you stop interrupting me?
No.
You stop interrupting me, Tommy.
I won't. No, I won't.
I'll talk over you now. The planners...
No, you don't talk over me, because if I want to, I can do that. So go ahead, you talk over me then. No. Right. No, we didn't hear a word of that because I faded you down. The point I want to make is this. You make your point.
You're going to fade me down, Tommy.
Yeah, you make your point.
You're very rude.
You make your point about the planners, provided.
You faded me down. No, I'm not going to be faded down twice, Tommy.
Here's the deal.
If you're going to fade your listeners down, you're going to get any.
Here's the deal. You make your point about the bypass, and then afterwards tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how boring it was.
Tommy, I'm not going to bother because you're going to fade me down.
Off you go.
All right, no, I'm not going to be faded down again. We'll have a boycott of you, and we'll all go off here.
Who's we? You and the cat?
Tommy, you mustn't assume these things again. Other listeners, the other listeners.
What do you know about listeners? What do you do?
What do I do? It's not your business. I know a lot more. What do you do, Tommy?
I'm a bloody broadcaster, you idiot. Isn't that obvious?
Don't flatter yourself.
Well, what do you think I'm doing? Sat here in front of a microphone. You ask me what I do? I'm a broadcaster.
That's as much of a broadcaster as you are. You happen to have a microphone and a large mouth. Obviously.
Well, do you know what? I can't think of two other more necessary credentials. Can you? He's gone. Fantastic. No, I'm sorry, but there was a time and a place to talk about the bypass. I really don't think that on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock on New Year's Day, what is it with some people who think that the bypass is just the be-all and end-all? And once they got the bit between their teeth, you know, once they got the taste of it, the kind of pious, the bypass must be built, the bypass must not be built, then all else goes out the window. Anyway, Martin, next time you want to talk about the bypass, phone somebody else on a Saturday night. There's a good lad. Type of radio on BBC Southern Counties Radio, and I'll give you a clue, it's Mary.
Mary. Mary and her boat.
Mary's emailed, and she said, I would just like to say that what Bob Staunton had to say about nuclear missiles was very insensitive. Women and children would be killed. Nuclear weapons are responsible for more deaths today than murders. Now don't, because she's trying. So just let that one go.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but thank God Tommy Boyd is back.
I never thought I'd ever hear her say it either. Good on you, Mary.
Instead of that George Bush sound-alike pillock. People like him should not be allowed near a wireless. The BBC should be disgusted. So she's got now she's on my side. She wants Bob Staunton sacked now.
Bob's not listening. It was his first night.
Well, he did say that he thought that he wondered whether.
Yeah, he did sort of. Yeah, it's an outrageous comment.
Yes, we have had an hour chopped off. To the sanctimonious, unctuous, oily, oleaginous Bob Staunton. There we are.
I'm really glad that you weren't going to get into a slanging match with a fellow broadcaster.
I didn't like him when he potters. He's a man who potters.
Tommy.
He potters in his knitwear and his hush puppies, and you can tell that he smokes a pipe, and he potters everywhere. And he's got an old Rover, which has probably got those leather seats which are really shiny and slightly cracked, and he's got one of those sort of tortoiseshell dashboards, and he's got one of those really thin steering wheels, and he probably potters along the A something or other, tiresome tune like Edelweiss or something like that.
Come on now.
And he mutters about sparrows, and he mutters about bin liners, and then he mutters that has our government thought about deploying nuclear weapons in Iraq to back the troops up, which is a ludicrous thing to say, and it makes me really angry. And I think it's really cross that there are people like that who are allowed the airways, because it's that kind of insidious, creeping, sort of philosophical fascism is what I'd call it. I'm not calling him a Nazi, I'm saying it's philosophical fascism. To have that sort of creeping, unkindness bubbling away, and you kind of get away with it because you're nice to animals, and you're a human being like the rest of us, and bin liners and evening until 1 o'clock. But now, thanks to the welcome arrival of shut up. He's probably listening in the car. The welcome arrival of Bob Staunton. We now begin at 10 through until 1. Bob plays music and has some exciting quizzes. And
some unusual thoughts.
Yes.
On world politics.
Yes. Hello to Tommy Boyd from Italy. We're sitting here laughing and adoring listening tonight on the World Wide Web. Have you tried olive juice? This is to do with talking about drinking diluted urine last week. Mally and Grula have emailed, have you tried olive juice? If you can't stomach that, don't drink urine. Always try it with some sort of juice. We recommend cranberry and urine.
Oh dear. Cranberry is very good for you, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, all of that sort of urinary tract business.
Yeah.
Cranberry is the way to go.
I feel vaguely besmirched.
I thought you did a bit.
Yeah, well, a little bit.
But I don't think
it's rude. Well, I think he's rude. It's rude. I think what he did was rude, and I think what he said on air was a bit rude, and I don't like rude people, as you know, because I'm very polite. And there's been a couple of texts which have upset you.
Yeah, I'm not happy. Perhaps you'd like to read it from your screen, the one in question.
Okay, it just says, are you both in favour of abortion? Are you abortionists?
Now, let's get this straight.
Go on.
This isn't about whether I am pro or anti-abortion. All that happened was I mentioned that Channel 4 televised an abortion.
Yep.
I didn't give an opinion.
Yep.
I didn't say what my views were concerning it. I just mentioned the word.
Dare I say fish and boat?
Oh, God. Not the mood I'm in tonight. That person's wound me up, and now you're going to tell me someone's going to wind me up even more with a fish and a boat.
I think you'll like this.
Okay.
Do you remember the lady who said last week that she wanted the address from us for the Broadcasting Complaints Committee?
Oh, which one? Which lady was that?
Because she said that I had advocated drinking urine and there were youngsters listening.
Yeah.
Which, of course, I hadn't, but anyway. Well, you know I said it takes about 6 weeks to come round?
Yeah.
Well, who's been the most persistent and vociferous campaigner against this? Well, what do you think? You bit about the poor old sparrows?
Sparrows are under threat.
I don't care.
Charming.
The bit about bin liners being a nightmare.
They are the bane of my life.
Well, there you go again. What in God's name is a bane?
It's something you find a nightmare. Didn't you get any kind of education at all in that Borstal?
Bob, I'm going to have to get back to you, mate. I'm flummoxed and what's the matter with the man?
Oh, dear.
Are you... I mean... Am I in trouble?
No, but, I just think that perhaps, the conversations that you and Bob need to have isn't one to be had on air.
The basic pattern of things last week was that we had about 45 minutes of people who basically were berating me for no known reason, because they don't know me, and they couldn't actually put their finger on anything that I'd said or done that was in any way off beam. Okay, but they wanted me fired. And by the way, keep the complaint letters coming in. Excellent. We've got Hedge calling in from Hove, who wants to have a complaint. Is that right, Hedge?
That is right, yeah.
Hello, darling.
I want some music on tonight. I don't want you burbling away.
What would you like?
I like David Allen on. I don't like your...
What does he sing?
I don't like your programme.
Well, what does he sing?
He plays a lot of lovely music.
Well, like what?
It doesn't matter what. What do you keep talking about these wretched blinking phone calls for? There's nothing... It's an absolute load of rubbish.
Why? What's wrong with listening to people? What's wrong with people?
I think you run out of breath, don't you?
No, I don't. I'll tell you what. Right, you tell me a song that you like, and we'll see what a load of rubbish it is. Go on, you tell me a song you like. Off you go.
I've already done that.
No, you haven't. You haven't mentioned one song.
Not to you, I haven't.
Well, you tell me a song.
No, I wasn't.
No, go on, you tell me a song. You tell me a song.
Tommy Boyd on BBC Southern Counties Radio.
Well, a very good evening to you. This is your Tommy Boyd. He's thought he was... Alison's here as well. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Oh, there's a bit of a kerfuffle there, I think the word is.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realise that you didn't know.
And I didn't come in on Thursday, so I didn't see the memo, so...
Yeah.
So you turned up at about, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And, I was here. It was a bit awkward because I said hello. I didn't expect there'd be somebody in the studio, so I thought it was a technician. So I said, everything all right? And he said, yeah, no. Bless him. So, there we are.
What's he like?
Bob?
Yeah.
It's alright, a bit sort of knitwear and, hush puppies. You know. I think he's, based in Gloucester.
Right.
And we didn't get much of a chance to chat.
Is it going to be like that every week now then, did he say, or is it just...
I don't know. Have you heard anything?
Well, I just heard they were trying him out, but I don't know if they're trying him out every week, or whether it was just a one-off today.
Yeah, and I mean the stuff about the sparrows, yeah, we care about sparrows. And...
Did you hear the stuff he was saying about Baghdad?
Yes. I decided we wouldn't go there.
No.
Did you?
I think, yeah.
Well, thanks for raising it.
Well,
I thought it was a bit near the knuckle. I mean, he didn't say that we should. Obviously, he didn't say that we should drop a nuclear bomb.
No. And he said and he said.
But he did kind of say.
But he said that it would have to be well thought out.
If I said
there'd be uproar.
Well, there's the usual suspects who would use it, as a reason to try and get me fired.
Well, yeah. I mean, we get into trouble if we talk about men and fish and boats.
Well, apparently, were you telling me that somebody, can we say this, somebody had a concern about you saying something on air last week, but you just didn't say?
No, I just didn't say.
You didn't go near it?
No, somebody made a complaint.
Yes.
About me talking about female menstruation, and I didn't.
And we didn't come anywhere near the conversation.
So I don't know what they're listening to.
Oh well, from now until 1 o'clock in the morning, it was 9 in the annoy you. Bin liners probably would have annoyed most of the Nazi party. And they probably like sparrows.
Tommy, I think we need to play a song now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hi, Tommy. You said, this is Hayley. Hi, Tommy. You said last week that you have tasted your own urine. Yes. Why not? Just try it. Diluted. Give it a sip. See what it does. Didn't make me feel better. Definitely didn't make me feel worse. That's all. Why not? Why not try it? If you know there are people who do this sort of thing on a regular basis and claim that it has beneficial side effects, why shouldn't you? However, Hayley then says, would you drink someone else's? I don't think I would, because that's kind of a, do or dare thing, isn't it? And what about live on air? No, I don't think so. But Hayley, thank you for your text, for your email there, and thanks to everybody who is texting the show. Lynn in Horndean says, I want Tommy Boyd on from 9 p.m, please. Is there a petition going? I am seriously thinking about making a phone call on Monday to the powers that be and say, look, what's all this about? Now I understand our next caller is Bob. Is that right? Hello, Bob.
Hello there.
How are you?
How are you?
How are you? I'm very well.
I'm great, thanks.
You're great.
The reason I called, I hope you don't mind, driving home with the radio on, thought I heard yourself having a bit of a go at yours truly.
No, I don't think so.
Well, it sounded a bit like it to me.
Which bit?
Beg your pardon?
Which bit it sounded like me having a go at yours truly?
Well, yours truly is yourself, and obviously you weren't having a go at yourself. The phrase is used by speakers as a polite alternative to me or myself.
Well, what's impolite about me?
Well, pretty much everything from what my listeners tell me.
Now, look, Bob, if you mean me, say me. I can't be doing these little sort of artificial linguistic affectations. Yours truly is pompous and it's outdated. It's one of those annoying little phrases that stand out as meaning, hey, look at me, I'm a bit of a character. And yes, I was tempted to correct on air one piece of absolute nonsense that you came out with.
Well, what is that then?
Would you not know? I mean, can you not guess?
Tell me.